Hello, everybody. This is Pedro Romero reporting for Gamezo in this 2021 Mid-Season Invitational. And who I have here with me for my guest in this interview is none other than Udysof, the coach for Pentanet.gg of Oceania. Pentanet.gg, that same team which surprised everybody and progressed to the Rumble stage against all the odds, defeating Unicorns of Love in the tiebreaker match. Udysof, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Pedro. I have been having a wonderful day exploring Iceland because we had a little bit of a day off today, like during the day. We did have scrims also against the Korean team Dan won today, so we had a little bit of practice. But most of the day was spent relaxing, so it was good.
Good, good. That's exactly what a team that is experiencing success should say. So to start off, I want to know what are you doing? Like, how are you feeling about this entire experience on MSI?
The entire experience overall, for us, it's had massive highs and massive lows. Obviously, as you've seen, as most people have taken note of the massive highs. Those tournaments started for us incredibly low. We started the whole tournament going 0-3 um, at the start, and it was just tough to deal with. To be honest, when we lost to Unicorns of Love in the first round, it was a little bit heartbreaking to us because it kind of set the standard that this is going to be a real fight for us to make it to the next stage. It wasn't just going to be us and RNG like we were hoping it to be. It was an absolute battle between us and UOL, which we had to fight to the end to, and only just came out on top in the tiebreaker. So I guess to say how's the experience been? Overall amazing, but definitely an emotional roller coaster.
It really was an emotional roller coaster, seeing as at the end of the tiebreaker match, you just basically jumped out of the seat, literally along with your substitute, and you just ran out onto the stage and just hugged everybody. What was that euphoria like for you after you knew that you guys were going to move on?
To be honest, it was a massive, massive relief and I guess a destruction of all the negative internal expectations that myself, other players on the team, coming into the tournament, OC has never performed well, and we always say we're going to do well. We're always going to do well. But I've been competing in at international tournaments off and on since 2018, and I came with a different team from OC called Direwolves to Worlds in 2018, and we had a shocking performance then there. So I guess just from the inception of myself competing in OC at the world stage, it's always been a bit tough. And to actually watch my team in the final game as I sat there, when I saw us have a lead, it wasn't even at the end of the game. Halfway through the game, we were in a position to win the game, and I knew that we were playing so well, I could feel that we were going to win. And it wasn't like a feeling of maybe we win, where wow, we're playing well. It was, I've seen them play this before. I know they will win this game from this position, and it wasn't picked up on camera. But halfway through the game, I had like tears dribbling down my eyes because I knew that the game was already won.
Hmm.
And then once it was over, it was a relief that my feelings and my, I guess, emotions halfway through the game that I knew were coming, they were affirmed at that final stage. And it was a huge relief and honestly a surprise too. Yeah.
You talked about your experience as a player in 2018. How does working as a player and working as a coach differentiate? Which position do you think fared much better for you emotionally?
Mm. I guess the biggest difference from a player and a coach is a player must a player is allowed to be emotional. I think when you're a player, emotions are good because emotions can empower you. They can make you play stronger, faster, better. Sometimes they can make you play worse, obviously. Like they can make you tilted, you can make bad plays. But I think players can easily thrive off emotion. And as a coach, I think it's very different because as a coach, you have to be impartial, you have to be statistical, you have to be analytical, but at the same time, you also have to exude positivity for your players. So I feel like as a coach, my job is to be a grounding force while also allowing my players to feel emotion to the fullest and I guess not sheer them away from absolutely going insane, I guess. Just going straight into the game and feeling it with all the emotions that come with it.
Well, by that standard, your I mean, everybody knows about your colorful personality, which you shown during the competition. Was this sort of like thing? Was this sort of thing the sort of thing that you were planning to do, like just to galvanize the players and such?
Absolutely. So, to be honest, our biggest strength as a team coming into the tournament is I've played on a lot of teams and been on a lot of teams. And usually, when you're a top team in a region, it's very rare that you have a positive environment. Usually, the top teams rip each other apart, players pick on other players, they tear each other down. There's usually an emotional punching bag on the team. It's quite unfortunate, but someone does get picked on towards the end of the year, especially when times get tough at international events.
Mhm.
The fortunate thing with our team is everybody, for some reason, I don't understand why, it's just the collection of players, they're all so happy and they're all so positive. And for me, that's amazing because it allows me to express the person I truly am. And I just like to make people laugh. I like to do dumb things and I love to put a smile on people's face. So when it came to the world stage, I knew that I was just going to make people happy. I was going to make my team happy and I was going to hype them up before every single game. And we were going to bring some attention to the players too through all the things we do on stage. So definitely planned, definitely prepared, and I'm happy it's paying off here.
The glasses, the whiteboard, all of that other stuff, the pictures that you shown like behind the scenes on your social medias and also of your team. Um, it has definitely given you a ton of support, one that you have never seen before MSI, and even during as a player within the Oceania region. Um, by that understanding, um, were you like surprised by all of the attention that you received?
I was incredibly surprised. I had no understanding of how strong, specifically the Brazilian fan base is. Personally, in OCE, our competitions on Twitch and YouTube and whatever. Maybe sometimes our games have 2,000 viewers, sometimes 5,000 viewers. On a good day, maybe 10,000 viewers, right? We don't really get that many viewers, and maybe 10,000 people watch on Twitch. How many of those people come to Twitter? Maybe a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 sometimes if we're lucky. So to see myself and the rest of my team and our social media as well, we talk about Rob's Day and Paint Gaming and all these things, and to see thousands of people supporting us is crazy. Honestly, like I posted a photo of myself and Robo and just supporting them for Rob's Day and saying, supporting wildcard regions. I think maybe 5,000 people liked the post or something like that, right? Close to
Yeah,
5,000.
it's like that amount was more than the total amount of followers that you have on Twitter altogether.
Exactly. Like we are so small, and to see that amount of support it's eye opening. Like I have people sending me videos of CB Law. I've seen videos from Twitch streamers from Brazil. All of your famous streamers are so huge, and just to see all the support, one, it makes us feel like really good because for us, being a professional League of Legends player is not a sustainable career. It doesn't really, we don't make enough money and we don't have enough people to make it our job. Like I have a job besides actually being a League of Legends coach and playing League of Legends. I had to do university and jobs and all these things, and a lot of my team does similar things as well. So to see that and to see the opportunities that are around the world, it's inspiring. One, because we can do amazing things here, and maybe people will come and support us back in OCE, or hopefully my players get seen on the international stage and they're allowed to explore opportunities in other regions.
Yes, you highlighted the your region and how little of attention it normally has, as opposed to when their representatives go to the international competitions. Talk to me. How difficult was it for your team and, frankly, every other team in the region in preparing for, let's say, MSI and Worlds?
In our preparations, it's always very, very hard because one, we come to a competition, we're so small, we don't know anyone, we don't have contacts to even set up scrims while we're here. So we get scrims and competition based off if our players are doing well in solo queue, maybe Pabu versus Perks, and Perks is impressed by Pabu's performance. Now C9 want to scrim us, and things like that. So even just from a practice standpoint, coming into the international competition, it's already hard. We're already at a setback. But even before that, even training in OC and practicing, because we're so small, we have maybe 50 good players, maybe. I wouldn't even say that. Like, definitely not 50 competition ready players. Maybe we have 50 good solo queue ranked players, but not even 50 players good enough to play at a high level in our league here in OCE. So practicing for our players is very hard. For example, someone who's been performing really well this tournament is Pradith, and Pradith, he probably plays the least solo queue out of everyone on our team. And now he comes to an international tournament. He's able to practice against amazing players. And I think because he's played less solo queue in Oceania, he hasn't built up as many bad habits of versing bad players, so he can come here and perform at his best. So almost because we're so small, practicing actually hurts us.
And with the faulty infrastructure that you've described in the OCD, then and and it's followed with Pentanet's success, then it just gives the notion that there is actual potential within the region if you give it the proper resources to grow. Wouldn't you say that's correct?
Absolutely, yeah, of course. Well, I think the big reason that is because everyone from OCE who is a pro player, their whole job, their whole goal is to not be the best in OCE. Their whole job and their whole mission is to be able to be good enough to go into LCS and LEC and other regions and compete at that level. So basically, yes, because our players want to go above and beyond, and they practice to be above and beyond, and they're always practicing, and that's something that's always good about our region. Is people try very hard, and we've had people come to, for example, Fudge at C9. He's come from OC. We've had a few players such as Lost and FBI and NA. I guess professional players. They always make comments on how hard the Oceanic players work when they come to NA and comparing to other NA pros. So we've got the culture, we just need the practice.
Yes, the practice indeed. As we've mentioned before, Pentanet is moving on to the Rumble stage, but in the historical perspective, as you said, as you mentioned of Fudge and the rest of the other players moving over to NA, they had to go there as a result of the OPL dissolving. And then you were one of those people that were unsure of the future regarding the region as a whole for competitive League of Legends. Um, to go there, to go from that point to the Rumble stage, how can you describe that sort of progress that you had to overcome or struggle?
Well, coming into the competition and I guess starting from square one when the OPL dissolved, I personally wasn't planning on continuing with League of Legends. I thought my journey was over with League of Legends. And a lot of OCE also saw me move into entertainment, Twitch streaming, YouTube production, lots of things like that. As the LCO was created, we had more money coming in. Still not an amazing amount of money, but more money coming into the team, building up a solid production with a pretty talented cast this year. So having that, I guess, a little bit of security coming in was nice, allowing people to pick up players and create really, really strong teams. For example, our team, Pentanet, they still saw a lot of value having a League of Legends team in OCE just for their potential advertising, sponsorships, and things like that. So it gave them a reason to progress further with it. Going from that and losing all these players, to be honest, I have no idea how my players have done it. I don't know how my players were able to practice and become competitive at an international level. A lot of people don't understand how much OC has lost by our players going, but you don't see it. We have lost some of our best top laners. Swiper, one of the best Oceanic top laners of all time. He went to Golden Guardians as a coach, not even a player anymore. Tally, he was one of the best top laners. He went to Worlds with Legacy last year, and he went to Golden Guardians Academy. There's so many other even smaller players that have gone into coaching roles into NA and even European Academy and things like that. We have lost upwards of 15 talented players now, and in a region that already never made it internationally, we basically lost our top 3 teams. I think our Pentanet roster finished 3rd last year in OCE. And then we saw how our Legacy team did in Worlds last year. They had some decent games, but again, they weren't able to progress further. So somehow, my boys, through culture and the amazing teamwork we have honestly been able to set aside the difference we have in skill and just become the best team possible. So there is no explanation that I can give, because the people we are surrounded by, honestly, in competition, are very, 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 very bad, are very, very low in skill. So I think it's a very special combination of the boys that we have to show why we're doing so well here at MSI. And in the future, the only team that I see doing this well is our same 5 boys. I don't think there is any other combination of players from OCE right now that could do the same that we can, or even come close.
As you were marred with uncertainty regarding the dissolution of OPO, you then moved on to Pentanet, and with that team, you basically have done everything. You produce content, you're the coach, you're like a spiritual advisor with your personality and stuff. um, how did that came to be? You joining the Pentanet?
So I actually joined Pentanet towards the end of our season here in OCE. So the actual we actually have a coach full time. His name is Charlie, and Charlie is back in OCE, and he was actually previously my coach when I was a player. So Charlie is actually in OCE, and he wasn't able to travel with us to MSI. So instead of Charlie traveling over, I'm here as the, I guess, head coach of MSI. So myself and Charlie are actually working together while he's back in Australia. I'm here on stage at MSI in Iceland. So we actually do have him supporting us. A lot of people don't get to hear about him. Obviously, the cameras show who's here, But behind the scenes, we do have Charlie, who does a lot of the hard work and I guess he helps. He does the drafting with Pabu and myself. I talk to Pabu a lot about drafting and decoy, but he's there at the back working every single day at really rough hours because the time zone difference is very hard for him. So he needs to. We definitely need to make sure that people are recognizing Charlie's, I guess, support of the team.
As you mentioned, Charlie actually posted a tweet comparing the differences in preparation between your team and Royal Never Give Up. It actually went a little bit viral. It was like it even reached me like a few minutes after Pentanet secured qualification for the Rumble. I'd like to know how exactly does his coaching slash messages translate over to the team while they're competing in their games.
So usually, we talk to Charlie the day before our games, at night. Usually, the players talk to him. I go to sleep early. The players talk to him, and then I wake up. And then once the players have waken up, I talk to the players about what Charlie has said to them, then what they think is the right decision to make, and then because I'm a player, I was a player anyways. I know I have different skills when it comes to drafting. I think Charlie, he is able to put down on a piece of paper, this is the optimal champion, this is the best ban, this, and very structured. But when it comes to competition and game day as a player, sometimes the best thing in a game, I guess, if you gave it to a robot, is not the best thing for a player. For example, on the day, I knew that Praedyth and Decoy, our bot lane, were playing really strong on a few champions. You know, you've seen Praedyth Samira, Decoy had an amazing game on Nautilus and a few other champions. And I took them to the side, and I saw the drafts that that Charlie had proposed to us to play, and we had spoken with specifically Pabu. He's very big on draft input. I took the players aside, and I said, I don't think you should play these champions that we've spoken about. I know you're going to do well on stage with these champions. And sometimes I throw a wrench in there and mess things up because sometimes I just don't believe in what is optimal for the world is not optimal for us. We are different. At the end of the day, we are coming in at a lower level as players and experience, and we need to play to our strengths. So I think myself as a player, I come in and work with Charlie that way and just throw things out the window and just play to our strengths and go a little bit crazy on the day.
As it turned out, it's not just you that throws a wrench into your coworkers' coworkers' plans. Excuse me. It's also outside input. For example, Pabu, your jungler, mentioned that he took in advice from LS regarding the selection of Lee Sin and Karthus in one of their games. What did you think about that when you first heard it from him?
So I'm not sure specifically when he brings the ideas to me, he doesn't tell me where he gets them from. So I actually didn't know that he was inspired by LS for his draft because when I was back in Oceania, I was playing Karthus jungle with Exhaust. And I knew an under 6 champion pool was quite low at this tournament because of the jungle pool changes. He wasn't very comfortable with the new jungle champions. So I knew that he was probably in our final game. I knew that we could probably push him onto Kha'Zix or something very weak into Karthus was Exhaust. So I actually thought Karthus was Exhaust was a great idea, and I brought it up to Pabu, and Pabu said he also thought it was a great idea because back when I was a player, I was also a professional jungler. So Pabu and I get on very well, and that's probably why you see in a lot of social media as well. It's him and I side by side doing a lot of dumb things together. But I didn't know that it was LS that inspired him to pick it up. But I guess it's just funny how those things work, and LS and I have very similar ideas as well, so that's pretty cool.
Just a crazy coincidence. It just happens in those competitions, right?
Absolutely.
Well, since you guys are moving on, um, you've had the pleasure of meeting so many people from so many other regions in the hotel. I mentioned before that you guys are just so um, just up and ready to post them on Twitter for everyone else to see. Um,
Absolutely.
which person was the which one was the which person was your most favorite? Which was the most favorite encounter that you had during MSI?
Mm. This is hard. Um, my favorite player that I've met.
Or
Wow. I
or
think.
or it can be
Oh.
like a coach, player, whatever, anyone.
Mm. Well, I've actually met a lot of Riot staff who have been very, very nice to me. But it's not as exciting as players. So Riot's been fantastic. But I really, really liked, I guess, meeting. Uh, I met Robo and Tinones, and I thought Tinones is very, very cute, and Robo has an amazing smile, and I thought both of them were so gorgeous and so happy. I was I was very inspired by meeting them because it was the day that they had been knocked out of MSI, and I saw them sitting in the lobby. I think with I'm not sure if it's their psychologist or something, or maybe I think they have a psychologist and a team manager that they were sitting with,
Mhm.
and we just came over and said hi to them, and they were looking quite disappointed after their matches, and then when we came over to say hi, they went from complete sadness to putting smiles on their face, being so happy to interact with us. And I think there's just something about, I'm not sure if it's like South American culture or just them themselves, but the amount of energy I see from them compared to anyone else is like really, really, really cool. Like I love just people who can smile and make people have a good day, and like that's something I really want to do. I love like making people feel warm. I really loved meeting Robo specifically. I think he was my favorite because I wish I could have a gorgeous smile like him. That was my biggest inspiration.
Um, yeah, it was a very interesting encounter, Robo and Tinos. Um, that just speaks volumes to the passion Brazil and every other region has. They love their football, so of course, if they have something else that they like, then they just go for League of Legends as well.
Absolutely.
That about wraps up my questions. We've gone basically half an hour. Feels like an hour, actually. But with you guys facing obviously five of the six best teams in the world, much like how it transpired in the group stage, not much is going to be um, expected out of you guys. Some people may say
Mm.
that just you being there was the goal. Um,
Hmm.
how are you guys going to tackle the Rumble stage?
I don't think anything changes for us. I think we're going to do a lot of preparation coming into the games. I think if we find something that makes us play above and beyond, we're going to stick with it. But honestly, the formula we found going into, I guess, the first stages of MSI on that third and fourth day, with the way we were drafting, the way we were picking champions, really, really worked for us, and it's probably the best it's worked for a while. So I think we're going to be sticking to a similar style. But with that being said, we are doing a lot of practice in scrims, picking up a few champions, taking a little bit of inspiration from RNG with some of the champions they actually picked and trying to bring them around the map. Um, Honestly, coming into the day, I think the biggest thing that really matters for us, it's not about the game, it's about the people coming onto that stage. So I'm just going to make sure my team is feeling very happy, very confident, and they're feeling loose and fresh. and whatever happens, happens. We're coming up against Dam One. We're coming up against RNG. Those two are freaking amazing teams. We versed them both, and they have done some disastrous things to us in scrims. And I know both of them are going to be very, very hard to beat. We versed C9, and they are also so strong, and they've taught us a lot as well. We have not versed Mad Lions or PSG yet, so I'm interested to see how that goes. But from myself looking at it, we have a chance. PSG, C9, even Damwon and Mad Lions all shown fallibility. I think RNG is going to be the one team that I don't think we can beat in this tournament. I will be honest. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and be like, we're gonna beat everyone. I think RNG is unbeatable. But the other four teams, I believe we can take games off them regardless. Now, some teams are going to be harder than others. Damwon is going to be incredibly challenging, but we have seen them slip, and we have seen them have some pretty shocking performances this tournament. So I'm pretty sure there's always an opportunity, especially with the way we draft. People don't know what we're doing, because half the time we go into a game, we're picking what we feel like picking, not what we come in prepared to play. So if we don't know what we're doing, no one else knows what we're doing. So I think on the day, we're going to have a lot of fun, and I think we're going to have a lot more fun than our opponents, so that's the biggest edge. And I think I'm feeling very confident. And regardless of confidence, I'm feeling very happy, and that's the number one thing from our team.
Give me a quick number. How many games are you guys going to win?
How many games are we going to win? How many games do we need to make it to the Rumble stage? That's my question.
Make around 4, 5, because that's been done where a team qualifies with 4.
It's been done where we qualify with 4?
Yeah.
Okay, we are gonna win the bare. We're gonna be the last team in. We're gonna win the bare minimum games, just like we won the bare minimum games to make it past UOL. We're gonna win the bare minimum games. So I'm gonna say it 4. We're winning 4 games. Okay.
All right.
I'm not. Listen, we're from OCE. Okay, we're gonna have some damn fun. We ain't crazy. We ain't Thanos like snapping and destroying people in front of us. We're gonna lose a lot of games along the way, but hey, we're gonna take 4 out, and we're gonna make it to the next stage. That's my dream, and that's what we're gonna do.
Just needs to say, yeah, the boys after that, and we'll be all set.
Hey, damn right. Yeah, the boys, we're going to send it.
All right. Udysof, thank you so much for taking the time and talk to me for this interview. I wish you the best of luck also, and also to the rest of the team in Pentanet GG. Do you have any final words?
The only thing I have to say, Pedro, is one, thank you for an awesome interview. I love talking to you and talking to people around the world. It's really awesome. I would love to say to any wildcard region out there, and obviously the awesome support from the Brazilian fans, we came to this tournament and we showed everybody that no matter where you come from and no matter how hard your year has been, especially from OCE fans, you know how hard this year has been for us, that we can do anything if you have the right team and the right people supporting you. So we're going to do well, we're going to show up, and I hope we made you proud, and I hope we continue to make you proud. And I love seeing your support, so I'm excited to see you guys follow us through the Rumble stage. And to my Brazilian boys out there, boys and girls, supporting us through this entire tournament, I just got to say, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Some people were teaching me, I think it's like obrigado is maybe thank you, or something like that.
That's correct.
And I got to say for the boys, that's what I gotta say. That's how I gotta end that.
Awesome, man. This has been Pedro Romero for Gamezo with Udysof. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the future.